And welcome everyone to High School Game Day Live. It's been very, very long since we were last here. Almost 2 years last time we had High School Game Day. So February 26th of last year when the Dons Hoop Squad was facing off against the Curie Condors. And now here we are. Completely different people. We were not here for the last one, so we have no idea what we're doing. So we are going to improvise. This should be interesting. Danny Burke, Mac Ross, Hank Friedrich. We're here with you. We're going to be with you all night, us crazy people, so don't get sick of us. In about 15 minutes, freshman football is going to be getting underway on the channel, so you can go bounce in between. But we want you here because we're more interested.
Oh, yeah.
High School Game Day, baby.
It's back.
We're back.
Yes,
we
sir.
are back.
Oh, this is awesome. All right, so first of all, we want to thank the ND Student Activities Department for putting this together. This was a very long and grueling process to get all of this done, even though it doesn't look like there's a lot of people behind us yet. They'll be coming. Don't worry. We also want to thank D'Agostino's Pizza for supplying the upcoming hungry children upstairs with some pizza and wings. That will be coming very, very soon. But now, we got football tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's the first actual Friday Night Lights for this year because last week, obviously, got pushed to Saturday.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights is back. Notre Dame playing Viator. A lot of interesting tales going around, but it's back, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Friday at 7.
Friday Night Lights is back here at Legends Field. First one we've had since 2019 when the Dons faced off against Nazareth. And J.J. McCarthy was still an Illinois student. How long time has passed?
Yeah,
Seems like it was just yesterday when it was 2019, state run. And now here we are, 2021, week 5 of the season. Normal season has returned. So let's jump into things here. We got a pretty good matchup between the Dons and the Lions. These two teams pretty similar in the styles that they play. We can start with the Dons. Going through their last 2 games, offense has started to turn around a little bit.
Yeah, so I think, obviously, no one will argue that this isn't the start we were expecting, 0-4. We played 4 pretty tough teams, so it's not really an embarrassing thing to lose to any of these teams, but I think we always expect to come out of those games with a win. So I think offense needs to step up, but also, defense needs to just bounce back. That's what this week is. It's a bounce back from the last couple weeks.
Yep. Offense is moving the ball a lot better, as we saw against Nazareth last week. First possession, 8 minutes, it resulted in a touchdown. Something the Dons were doing a lot better was controlling the ball and controlling the pace of the game. They did that for our first half, and then second half they started to fall apart a little bit. But look for the Dons to use Randazzo in that running back scheme with Francesco Ricciardi. So Dons will be on the lookout for a big run game here. Yeah,
that's something I wanted to get into a little bit was Frankie Ricciardi and Colin Randazzo, and then you can also include a little bit of Jake Georgioulis in that group, and then Enzo Riccardi himself you can throw into that group as well, able to escape the pocket and go on a couple of runs. But that's one of the big things about this offense. You see it a lot with high school offenses is the run game, but particularly here because that's a lot of what they do.
Yeah, definitely. I think with Enzo especially, he's experienced now, but last year kind of coming in, he was thrown into the fire as a sophomore. Now as a junior, still doesn't have too much experience under his belt, so I think they like to run with keeping him mobile, get him out of the pocket where he's dangerous, and then obviously the connection with his brother and then Colin Randazzo running the ball that's kind of been the one thing I think that's worked all year, despite other things kind of falling apart.
Yeah, and it sure has. The run game's gotten a lot better, but, again, it all starts with the big boys up front. My favorite position in football, the offensive line, because everything starts with them. And when they're pushing the guys around up front on the defensive end, offense becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, and that's something, you think about. But I want to pose a question to you since you brought up Enzo thrown into the fire as a sophomore. This is going to be his 10th game tonight as a varsity starter. And, Mac, I'm curious to hear, what have you thought about him so far through 9 games?
So I think he's been great. Like I said, thrown into the fire. He really had to just adjust each and every game. This year, obviously, we lost Connor O'Boyle and Howard Williamson. I think 2 of our, I'd say, top 3 options on offense. So, Enzo hasn't had it easy. And I think he'll admit to you first, he'll make some mistakes every game. Everyone does. But I like the way he keeps his confidence no matter what he does. So I'm looking for him to keep that confidence no matter what's going on and keep this Dons team level-headed.
Yeah, I mean, with Enzo, he had a couple ball security troubles in his first season, making sure that his receivers are open, making sure he's holding on to the ball when he's getting tackled. But as you can see, as the years move on and the games move on, he's making improvements little by little. And then, next year, he's going to be a stud.
All right, so let's transition over towards the defensive side of the ball. First week, not too bad. 19 points against Glenbard North in a game that many of the players will tell you they probably should have won.
Yep.
But then things really did not go well the next 2 weeks. Mount Carmel and Fenwick, almost 100 points combined, allowed those 2 weeks. But then, last week, things definitely looked like they were starting to turn around. You only gave up 1 touchdown in the first half. Only two in the second half. I mean, 2 touchdowns and a half is not awful. You don't want to give up any to begin with, but for the way that they had been playing, not the worst thing in the world. So they're looking to continue those trends today.
Yeah, I think the defense, last week was great, all things considered. And when I say that, Mike Pantazis, defensive captain, went down with an injury in the second quarter, I believe, and that's something you never want to see. And then the Dons had 2 interceptions after that without their captain, which is awesome, and I think they need to keep that going. Whether Mike plays, I don't know if he will or if he won't, but it shouldn't matter to the rest of the defense. They should try to regroup. It's the next man up mentality that President Boyle was talking about last week. They need to play within themselves, not try to do too much, but each player on that defense needs to step up.
Yeah, and we saw it last week with a Randy Russ interception that turned the ball over for Nazareth, but something that Mike brings is the juice. And Coach Boyle harps on the juice, the energy, everything. When you bring the juice, it brings confidence to your other players, and hopefully your defense can step up tonight against St. Viator.
And jump in with what Max said. Rumor is that he's going to try to play it. It is a game-time decision for Mike Pantazis. So, we saw a really strong defense in that first half, but then it almost looked like as we got towards the second half, pushing through the third quarter, it looked like that they started to break down a little bit. That could be because of injuries, could be because of fatigue. But it looked like that they had let Nazareth back into a game in a sense because they looked like that they were in control of the game in the first half, and then it looked like the sides completely flipped in the second half.
Yeah, so I think that what Hank said about the juice, that's the biggest thing because one mistake, one slip-up by the defense, they don't have their captain to tell them, hey, shake it off, next play. So that's why I think it's all about the next man up. And I wrote down my key player for the game is Jack Doherty. Linebacker on defense, senior. He's a leader. I think he's going to step up big time today and have a huge game for the Dons defense.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame did keep Nazareth to 7 points the first half, but another thing is when the offense turns the ball over, your defense doesn't expect to be on the field in a certain spot, and usually when you turn the ball over, it's not in a good spot for the defense, as we saw an interception as Nazareth got the ball at the 40-yard line, which they later scored. So, you keep control of the ball, the defense will do its work, keep the offense on the field, and then you got a football game for Notre Dame.
So we're definitely looking for something pretty good from the defense today. They had a lot of good plays on 3rd and 4th downs last week, and that's definitely something that you like to see from the defense, particularly the first half. And then again in the fourth quarter, with time waning, they looked really, really solid on the defensive end.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's just a testament to Notre Dame being able to play through adversity. Obviously, like we said, there's turnovers, there's slip-ups by probably everyone up and down the roster. But I think as long as they use their home crowd, use it for momentum, stay within themselves, I think we're going to see a very successful Notre Dame team tonight.
Yep.
All right, so now we got to switch gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about St. Viator. So they're 2-2 right now. Mixed bag of things that they've put up so far. They started the season 0-2, losing to South Elgin, losing to Morgan Park. They lost to South Elgin 48-7. Not too good for that. And then they lost to Morgan Park 30-22 in the fourth quarter of the game. Mind you, Morgan Park had gotten absolutely destroyed by Fenwick the week before, so they were out for revenge. And then DePaul and Carmel. DePaul had started out the season 2-0. They dropped week 3, and then Carmel really hasn't shown that much this year either. So the record may say 2-2, but you also have to consider the clientele of who they've played thus far.
Right, and I think that's very important to note. But also, a win is a win. As much as you can take away from a team. That's very fair. But if you're on top at the end of the scoreboard or at the end of the game, that's really what matters to St. Viator, I'm sure. And I think it's important to note St. Viator lost their starting quarterback in week 1. So then, even without their captain, their starting quarterback, they're able to go on the road, I believe, and win 2 games. So that tells me something about their resilience, their confidence, and their mindset. So I think, no matter how talented St. Viator is or isn't, it's a rivalry game. So they're going to come in, they're going to be ready to play, and they're going to want to take us down.
Yeah, it sure is a neighborhood rivalry. St. Viator not being super far from Notre Dame, but about the schedule, and you see Notre Dame, and they've played 2 top 10 teams, and then Fenwick being a top 25 team. Going into this game, obviously Notre Dame has had the experience playing against a tougher team, but St. Viator also has the experience of winning. They're 2-2 coming into the game. A win for Viator as a win for Notre Dame. It's a little different, but Notre Dame does have the stronger strength of schedule. So hopefully the Dons can play above their competition and bring home a win.
So yeah, we talked a little bit about the injury of the quarterback stepping in, Charlie Dolson, just a sophomore. He's already thrown for nearly 400 passing yards while he's been the exclusive starter. English is hard. He's averaging about 124 yards passing per game, which isn't awful, but then they're also incorporating a really good rush game, averaging about 108 yards per game so far. Now, that's a little bit skewed because they rushed for 219 when they played DePaul 2 weeks ago, so that kind of weighs out a little bit. But looking at what they've done so far, it's either been heavy on one, heavy on the other, or a good mix of both, and they've shown all 3 of those their last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they can do it all. Really, they don't favor one, the run or the pass. So I think that's something that Notre Dame needs to keep track of, and that's bringing back up Jack Doherty. I think he's going to have to step up, be a captain. They're going to have to look to their linebackers to really control the pace of the game on defense. Try to slow Viator down if they ever get moving.
Yeah, and with those games without their starting quarterback, Viator has also looked at 2 quarterbacks. As we got Charlie Dolson, like you said, he's more of a pass guy, and we got Nicky Pastore. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it looks like Viator likes to run a little wildcat too.
Yep.
It's my favorite play. A lot of motion going around with the wildcat, but look for a little mixing up of the quarterbacks. To set the Notre Dame defense a little off.
So now we only got about a minute left before we welcome in our first interview. I wanted to bring up a couple important points about their defense so far. Last 2 games, they've had 2 pick sixes. They also have had a couple forced fumbles. They're averaging about 26 points allowed per game, which is on tap for about what the Dons are scoring per game. So in that regard, they're doing pretty solid. And then, they've been playing pretty tight. The last couple of games, they've had some struggles here and there, but for the most part, they've been playing pretty good.
Yeah, so I think bringing up the turnovers that they cause is big because, honestly, I think that's Notre Dame's biggest issue on either side of the ball is just either costly fumbles, sometimes bad passes that get picked off, not finishing routes, and then that pass gets picked off. So I think that they just need to control their turnovers, and they'll be okay.
All right, so with that, we are going to welcome in our first interview. We're going to be back in about a minute. to High School Game Day Live, our first of 4 interviews today. We've got a couple of teachers from our science department. To my left is Mr. Joe Augustinski, and then to Caden Frawley's right is Mr. Patrick Madigan. You have heard both of these guys so far on our games this year. Mr. Augustinski has joined one of our soccer games, and Mr. Madigan has joined one of our football games. But now we got them together on the same game. Nah, not really. No, not really. No, totally not happening. So how are we doing today, gentlemen?
Fantastic. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
I'm excited for the game.
This is going to be fun.
Mr. Manning and I were talking earlier. We're looking at the schedule, and we're feeling a W today.
I feel that too. I'm feeling that too. So, you know, you're mostly a soccer fan. Guilty. Yeah.
But as I said in the broadcast, soccer was sort of a later in life thing. So,
Yeah.
so always been a football fan. I will watch almost any sport. Almost any sport. Football or
Football. Or as we like to call it, European football around here.
Yeah.
We did call it European football once, so we got that under our belts.
Danny said that a few times during the games.
I did say
European
that.
football,
Well,
yeah.
yeah. What's wrong with that? We had a Friday night game, and the team was playing somewhere else. So we're like, we got European football here. American football is over there.
Hey, listen, I love the soccer, bro.
That was fun.
Oh,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you.
For the first game, you guys were very upfront how little you knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still thought you called a great game as I came watching. You guys have definitely picked up on it as you went along. So great job.
All right, so now I think it's time for Mr. Madigan to jump in a little bit. He's been a little quiet. This is unlike you.
I've just been listening. Hey, this is my department chair. You know, he kind of can yell at me and say, "You can't buy this anymore."
Oh.
If I say something bad, I guess.
Oh,
But in all seriousness, so yes, we were talking about look at the schedule. We've had a hard schedule to start the year, so not that makes this any easier of a matchup, but I think the intensity that not only our fans bring, but now with more alums, and for Caden Frawley, the band is going to be here now. You know, it's not one of that rain delayed where it was a
Yeah.
Saturday, so our guys are on their routine. They've had their pregame naps if they've taken them. You know, they've had the energy from the school day even, where guys are saying, "Hey, it's game day. We're all showing up. We're bringing the juice." So definitely excited for this one.
you could definitely tell that there was a very different vibe today, as there might have been last week. But you know, we got a game under our belts here, and now it seems like it's going to be even crazier as it was last weekend. Might be even better.
Definitely think that. Homecoming week, I mean, of course it's going to be great. Everyone's going to be in the student section. It's going to be like the energy last week, except I think it's going to be like ×2. So I'm excited.
It's almost like everybody's ready to pump it up.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Don't you know?
You got to.
You got to know.
You gotta know.
You got to.
Yeah, but like you guys were saying, it's weird, but this far into the season, it is kind of like it's the first sort of like regular routine home game, and I think that makes all the difference.
Yeah, I think it was a little odd considering last week, you know, we were waiting around for this game to start. And it's like, is this thing ever going to get off? And then it gets canceled. And then we play Saturday, which was even crazier. Because when was the last time we had a Saturday game here? It's still a pretty good crowd that came out. But I think tonight we're really going to see what both sides of what both schools are going to be able to bring.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you look at the Nazareth student section last week, was that even a student section? It was
There was
like
only like 20 kids.
20 kids. Not to take shots at the douche in there, but
St.
some guys
Viator's
showed
Viator's
up.
going to bring it,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that way you have some rivalry, some back and forth. So that adds to another element of energy. You don't slip up at all during the game. You got to keep it at it the whole time.
Yeah, there's 2 years ago when Viator came here for basketball, they brought themselves a student section with them. They were sitting just to our left in the stands right here, and you could really tell that there was a lot of banter going back and forth. But you could really sense, the rivalry between the two schools. And then even last year when Loyola came over here, the two were going at it from the benches. There was nobody here, but you could sense that there was a sense of rivalry between the two schools. That it's like, we hate you today, but, we might be friends with you the next day. And that's one of the interesting things about rivalries is that you might be friends with these guys outside of school, but when you get to a competition, it's your bitter enemies.
Definitely.
Any sport, yeah. You'll see it. Basketball, football. Soccer games, doesn't matter. If the student section shows up, there's going to be a rivalry.
I was say our guys don't hold back. So for those that watch the YouTube stream, if you hear some foreign languages being spoken in the background, just beware. I know our student section knows what the line is, but sometimes
Yeah,
in a big
sometimes you
game,
don't know.
something happens.
Yeah.
So what are you guys looking for? Booth, right? You're calling the game tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are the keys that you're looking for?
So one of the things that I'm really looking at is Michael Patrick Nix. This is a junior wide receiver. The last couple of games, he's been outstanding, making some crazy catches, racking up the touchdowns. So one of the things I'm really looking forward to out of this Viator offense is seeing the incorporation of Charlie Dolson and Michael Patrick Nix, that 1-2 punch that they've got with each other. And then you also have to throw in Ryan Camblin, the senior tight end, who's also been a big part of this offense, particularly the last 2 weeks, helping rack those points up against DePaul and Carmel, and have really given themselves a little bit of an edge going into this game. You've won 2 in a row. You have momentum coming in. You're playing a Don's team that just had a demoralizing loss against Nazareth that you lost in the final minute of the game. So you kind of feel like in that regard, before the game, they have a little bit of an edge coming in.
What a pro. Did you hear that? I said, what are you looking forward to? And he starts complimenting the other team. That's fantastic.
Awesome.
So then what do we have to do to stop
Okay,
them?
so what do we have to
Yeah.
do? The defense
As a
has
pro.
got to play.
Fantastic.
Defense has got to play outstanding once again.
Okay.
They really did a good job that first half of last week, and then the second half they kind of fell asleep a little bit in that third quarter. Then they came back in the fourth quarter, stayed strong. So one of the things that they really have to do, particularly with this Viator defense that has been hot and cold, and they've been hot the last couple of weeks, is that they have to play 4 quarters of consistent defense. And the offense got to be smart. You got 3 touchdown drives in. You got 1 in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter. But, you had that 8-minute drive to start the game. You were able to get one downfield as the second quarter was waning away. But they need to play consistent offense as well, and I think that's something that they really have struggled with a little bit this year. But I think now you're playing a defense that's not as tough as you have played the last 3 weeks.
Definitely.
I think they have a chance to come out a little bit tonight.
Not to make excuses on the defense, but second half is when half our linebackers went down.
Yep.
Whether it was Randy Russ, Mike Vantazis, and they weren't coming back into the game. So that almost demoralized our defense a little. With, hey, these are our leaders. Who's going to lead?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say the defense needs to stay hot all game because, like Danny said, they kind of cooled down in the second half. So if they can stay hot the whole game and, keep, getting stops, that's what they need to do to win this game.
Well, with that, our time is unfortunately up. We got to bring in our next guest. This was awesome. We hope to see both of you guys in the stands tonight.
Well, it's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, coming up next, we got a couple golf dons. Max McGovern and Sam Scully are going to be joining Hank and Mac when we come back.
Thank you.
Is there no makeup artist or something?
And we're live.
How do I look? Do I look good?
You look great.
All right.
You look great. As Mac and I are back, as we got some golf dons here.
Oh, yeah, big regional guys.
Big regional guys, as we got Max McGovern over here and our captain, Sam Scully. Mac, I'm going to hand it over to you with some questions for these guys.
Yeah, so my first one is obviously for Max and Sam. What do you think is going to happen tonight? Give us a little prediction.
I think Viator's going to come in here, hard-headed, ready to play, very, very cocky. They tend to breed their kids pretty cocky up there in Arlington Heights. So I don't think they're going to come really humble, and I think we're going to take advantage of that at home and take over.
I like it. I like it.
Very confident call.
Couldn't have said that any better myself, really. They're going to come in cocky, and I think we're just going to humble them, Pound them with the ground game, got Colin Randazzo. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. And he's coming out with a dub today and then carrying that momentum into dance tomorrow,
Hell yeah, pump it up. As for you guys, for all the young golf dons that are coming to Notre Dame, give us a little summary of Notre Dame golf.
I'd say it's a lot of golf, and if you like the game, then I'd get into it. And if you don't like the game, then I wouldn't get into it unless you want to get into the game, It's that simple. It really is.
It is. You hit it on the nose there. If you want to play golf, play golf. If you don't want to play golf, then don't play golf.
And if you do, you'll have a great time.
Yeah.
Now, back to the game, guys. So usually everyone has a key player. So what are your key player or key players
My
tonight?
key player is Jack Doherty, and solely Jack Doherty. I believe that he is just going to dominate on the defensive side. Although, I'll have to give some credit to Colin, but he's always a favorite. You got to look for the underdogs, especially when it comes to defense.
I mentioned Colin before. Really, though, I got to give it up to Joe Giamatti. I think he's going to come.
Great call.
Sneaky good game at center. Really don't give enough recognition to those guys, and I think Joey Meatball, of all people, should get that recognition.
Yeah.
And so my next question for the golfers is, you each have a very unique play style to your golf game. Who would you say resembles kind of your work ethic and mentality on the football field?
I'm going to have to go with Jack Doherty on this one again. Jack Doherty he's such a leader, and I believe that I try to live up to his standards and kind of follow after him.
Wow, that is a hard question. I'm going to have to go with Colin Randazzo on this one. He seemed pretty, hard-headed, but in a good way, not a lot of stuff gets to him mentally. I take golf I shouldn't say lightly, but I'm out there having fun. It's a good time.
Sometimes it's just a game.
All right. Favorite golf shot? What is it?
Like a specific shot or
a specific
type of shot?
shot.
Like 60 yards out.
60 yards.
Wind helping.
Yep.
Pull out a little 56, just go to work.
60-foot putter.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I'd say my ideal shot is nice, long, wide open par 4 where you can just hit driver as hard as you want down there. I'm not going to lie. That's probably my most ideal shot.
You can ask Sam. You can ask anybody on the golf team. Really, my favorite shot's got to be the flop. They tried to take it away from me at the end of the season. I kept hitting it.
He tried to keep hitting it.
Sometimes it's the death of me, but it sure does look good.
Now, what was your worst golf shot of the season? Give me a little story behind it too. Give me a little story.
I'd say my worst shot of the season was probably.
Don't really have a lot, right?
It's tough to think, pinpoint a specific one. I've had some bad shots, but I've also had some good shots. The key is to try to have those good shots outweigh the bad shots.
It's golfer mentality right there.
I can't really relate with that one. Conference on Monday, actually. It was a rough hole, blow-up hole for me. We won't mention what I scored, but
a little snowman on the scorecard.
It was a high number. I had to pull out the calculator.
Double digits.
Well, most golf scores are double digits, but right idea. Yeah, it was. I don't even remember the hole. I believe it was a par 5. The damage was still done though.
I think I would land like 7 or something. I dunked the ball so bad into the water, and at that point, I'm just like, maybe the sport isn't for me. But it's senior year, so
Right.
I had to see it through.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Now for our final question, boys. Final score prediction. Sam, you can start us off.
I'm gonna go with the Lions, the old low Lions out there. I'm gonna have to say they're gonna get 7 points, 1 touchdown. And
That's very generous.
I think the Notre Dame Dons are gonna come out with about 3 touchdowns today and just shut them down on defense. And I think all those 3 touchdowns coming in the first half.
Okay.
21-7. All right, Max.
I was thinking maybe a little bit closer, but our D's gonna shut them down. 6 points, 2 field goals for Viator, and I think we're just gonna pound the ground game and put up 2 touchdowns, 14-6.
We do.
right.
We do have another minute, so I want to kind of stir the pot a little bit. In a truthful, honest answer, what sport do you think is harder, football or golf?
Golf.
No hesitation. Not even considering football.
No, because when it comes to the physical aspect, football is definitely harder. But when it comes to the mental aspect, that's where golf really has you.
Yep, mental
All right.
game is right.
The better you get at golf, the harder the mental game is.
Yep. As those are our golf dons right there. As Sam and Max, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right. So we're going to go to a little break right now. So hopefully you guys can come back as we got the soccer downs coming up next.
Beautiful.
Yeah, what, are we still rolling or what?
Still rolling.
All right, and we're back. Hope you didn't hear any of that. That was a little awkward. So we got Mr. Tim Hennigan. He is a former football coach here at Notre Dame. You coached for like 11 years, since like the dinosaur age, right?
Yeah, since the prehistoric times. Been at Notre Dame for 11 years in the greatest place in the world. My role has primarily been in the recruiting end of things. I've been doing that since I arrived. Football's always been a passion. Coaching has been a passion. But after 42 total years of coaching, my wife, thank God, still wants me around the house, and so I stepped away from that. But that's enabled me to spend more time recruiting and spreading the word about what Notre Dame does to build great young men like yourselves to families. And I get out there as much as possible. I go out to games on weekends to see kids, meet families, and let them know what Notre Dame can do for their sons. So it's been a great journey so far, and that's not ending. I'm going to stay at Notre Dame for a long time.
Awesome.
So I just have a quick question going off of what you just said. I know it's tough to pick one, but if you could pick one thing to kind of draw kids to Notre Dame, what would you say?
The way we get kids ready for college. My oldest son, Brennan's a 16 graduate. I like to tell people this all the time. He came to Notre Dame as an average student.
Right.
We know how to teach boys. We know how to get boys ready for college. Boys learn differently than girls. This staff is trained on how to teach them. After coming here as an average student, my son went on to Louisiana State University, and he's going to attend law school. That wouldn't have occurred if he did not come to Notre Dame. So I'm very grateful for what this place has done for my family. And that inspires me to get the word out to other families so they could have that experience with their son as well.
Yeah. That's awesome. So now I want to turn over to a little football question. So, you coached for a long time, almost 40 years. What impressed you the most about some of the kids that you had coached? Like, why did you want to keep coaching, I guess is the better question. Why did you want to keep coaching?
Do you know what? Kids inherently, and you guys have been involved in a lot of different team things, kids inherently want discipline and they want to be taught how to do what they love to do. And when you love to do something, you're gonna reach out for that experience from a coach. You're gonna take that and you're gonna mold that into making you the best player that you can be. But it goes beyond that. It's about just all the other lessons you learn, life lessons, by being part of something greater than yourself. So the thing that I take out of it in all the years I've coached is that all the kids that I've been involved with have bought into being part of something greater than themselves. And that'll translate into great things in life.
Yeah, I think that's some really strong words. Okay.
Hey, nothing beats the game time atmosphere. And when you're at Notre Dame, anything could happen. And when I'm in an interview and I hear the drums going, I'll tell you,
You're getting pumped up?
I'm almost 60 years old. I want to put a helmet on and go out there and play right now myself.
We're going to be pumping it up soon. Yeah, in a couple of minutes, I don't know, about 10, 15 minutes, we are going to have the band out here for a little bit. So that's going to be fun, so stick around for that. So you talked about just like how special this school is to you. When you first got here, how did you know, like, this is where I want to spend the rest of my career?
Do you know what? There's a promotion that we have in Coach Boyle, President Boyle, the Notre Dame difference. You could feel it the minute you walk inside the building. And as an adult coming here and beginning my journey with Notre Dame, I felt it when I came into the building. There was an old school atmosphere in this building of respect, of kids that want to be a part of something, that want to learn. The first time I walked into a hallway in Notre Dame, a kid I didn't even know came up to me, said, "Excuse me, sir, do you need help?" Shook my hand and introduced himself. That impressed me so much. And in being from this neighborhood, the northwest side of Chicago, my sons were in grammar school at the time when I was looking about where am I going to send them to school. I did my research. I looked all over the place. Yep. Notre Dame was the best place that I found through extensive research on how to teach boys and get my sons ready. So that was a big difference.
So going back to the coaching part a little bit, I've heard from different coaches about a certain kid they like to coach the most. Some people say they like the kid who is quiet, shows up, gets their work done, always listens. Other coaches tell me that they honestly like kind of the noisier kids who don't always pay attention because they like working on those kids. Do you have one type of kid that you would prefer to coach?
Do you know what I would tell you this? I coached sophomore football here for a long time. And every first practice with the new sophomores, they finished their freshman year of football, I would ask all of them, raise your hand if you were a starter last year. You know, you have the handful.
Yeah.
And I would look at the kids that didn't start, and I said, be ready to play.
Right.
Because we are going to teach you. You are going to be a big part. I like those kids that are grinding, those kids that are looking for a way to get on a field, the kids that are going to give you everything they have. They may have limited ability. They may have great ability. But at the end of the day, the kid that wants to grind, the kid that wants to work extra after practice, those are the kids that I loved coaching.
So just one more thing before we're going to have to switch off. You know, your primary role here now is as a recruiter. So we have an audience out there that's watching, you know, why should I send my kid to Notre Dame? So why don't you give your testimonial to those that are watching right now about why your son should be here?
The reason you want your son to be at Notre Dame is because he's going to be part of a brotherhood that will last his lifetime. But more importantly, this staff is trained on how to teach boys. We will get your son ready for college. He'll leave Notre Dame college ready. He'll leave Notre Dame as a gentleman of Mary. He'll leave Notre Dame as a terrific human being. And what more can you ask for than a solid education where your son's going to be prepared for anything that he gets involved in his next level of learning in college, and to be a great human being and a gentleman to marry. Nothing beats that.
Nothing beats it.
You can't get much better. So with that, we're going to be transitioning over to our next phase. We got a couple of soccer dons coming up. Two of our varsity captains are going to be joining Hank and Caden. Coach Hennigan, we thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on with us on such short notice.
Guys, thank you. I enjoy it. I always have fun when the media crew is outstanding. If your sons are watching this and they want to get into a fun extracurricular activity, get involved with the media crew. We've got our varsity game at 7 o'clock tonight. Come out and see the Dons. It's not too late to get involved in Jersey night. If your sons are grade school kids want to come out and have a good time and get a high school experience, come on out tonight. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, after our little break with Coach, I got a couple soccer dons, with a great season ahead of them. Michael Shanahan, center mid, and I got my back with Paul Harris, center back. And, you guys are having an amazing season. You guys are ranked in the top 25 for soccer in the state of Illinois. What's that camaraderie like with a winning program and, just like the games going on with the soccer dons?
Well, it all started last year, because last year we have a lot of returning seniors and juniors from the team. We had 22 returning players, so we have a lot of experience with each other, and that helped us a lot for this season. And this season, everything just started to click, and we're dominating all around Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, it's great to have everyone back, too, so not much change from last year, so that really helped us out a lot, and I think that we're just combining well together, and it's really showing on the field.
Yeah, with 11-1 record, I'm pretty sure, right, boys?
Yep.
Notre Dame's a top 25 team, and something I ask is, what is better, the offense or the defense? And I know you guys are defensive players, all right, a little biased towards the defense, but what is it? Give me a little sum up right here.
Since I'm a center back, I'm in the back line. In my personal opinion, I think the defense is better. We've only given up 6 goals this season, and only one of them came from open play. All the rest were like set pieces or free kicks, so we can't really do anything about that. Even though we've scored 59 goals this season, we also partake in a lot of like the possession and stuff like that. Like Shan has a couple assists. I have 3 goals, 3 assists, so we also take part of the offense.
Yeah, I think it starts from the back and then it moves up, so it really depends what you have in the back to really score those goals. So I think that defense is a main factor, but then again, you need someone to finish that ball in the net, so strikers are also a big role.
Yeah, we are 2 strikers this season. Freddie Krug, he has 15 goals this season already and a ton of assists. Trevor Johnson has 7 goals. Andy Barzueta has 7 goals to 2 as well, and they contribute a lot on the offensive effort too.
So yeah, I have a question for you guys. You guys, as you just talked about, said the defense is great and the offense. So do you think you guys just need to keep that up throughout the season to keep winning games, or is there, it doesn't matter about the fans and who comes out to watch the games and stuff like that? What do you think is more important?
Well, obviously the fans help a lot, like having a student section to hype us up during the game. We are always able to play harder when the student section's there. And also, the defensive effort is a lot there. And later on this season, we're going to be facing a lot harder teams, especially in the state playoffs. So it's important for us to keep continuing the defensive effort, because a lot of those better teams, maybe they'll be better than us, but as long as we put in a strong
defensive effort, we'd be able to shut them out and get 1 or 2 goals and win the game.
Yeah, the fans played a key role in most of our games that we didn't have the energy we needed. They brought the energy, and it really showed on the field for us. Once again, I mean, we're just playing our game, defensive up.
And like the Viator game, especially, the football team came, all the other teams came, and before they came, we were down 1-0, and then once they started to come, we won the game. Ended up winning that game 6-1, and so the student section helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the energy from the student section, you guys sure feed off of it, especially with that plus 53 goal differential. But I also hear there's a lot of characters on the soccer team. Who is the funniest guy on the soccer team? Paul, I know you're up there, but who's the funniest guy on the soccer team, you think?
Alessandro.
Probably Alessandro. He's part of band. He's out there somewhere. He's always a goofball. He's always making jokes. And also our assistant coach, Coach Crowley. He's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
Always keeping the mood light. And when it's like a bad situation, always keeps the mood light.
Yeah, I mean, Ale, you can't, if we're losing a game or whatever's happening, he's there to make a joke, to make everyone laugh, and Coach Crowley's not far behind. Coach Crowley might not have the best jokes all the time, but we still laugh at them.
Yeah, and going through your guys' schedule, I heard you guys play Bennett on the road, as last year, that was a tough game, especially they got some pretty good players. But, despite all the games that you guys have to play, leading up to that Bennett game, what's going to be that motivating factor when you come in on the road against Bennett?
Well, Bennett's our last game, second to last game of the season, and so therefore it's our last conference game. And this year we're really fighting hard for conference, and we think that that'll be like the deciding game for conference. So leading up to that, we have to beat Marist, we have to beat Nazareth, we have to beat Carmel, and once we win all of those games, I'm sure Bennett will be right next to us. So there's going to be a lot of tension in that game, and that would kind of push us over the edge. Last year they had a lot of graduating seniors, and this year we didn't really have many graduating seniors, so it'll be a pretty equal match, and hopefully we can get the win.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the deciding factor for last season, who got the first and second place in conference. So I'm hoping this year we can change it around and put us in the first place and put them in the back seat.
Yeah, so I just have one more might not be off topic, but you guys are talking about away games. What do you guys do on the bus to get the energy up?
I mean, we always have the music going in the back. Me and Trevor Johnson being the DJs in the back to keep us rolling. But, I mean, at the beginning, you take your time, you focus in on yourself, and then at the end, we start playing the music, getting the team focused for that game ahead.
Yeah, some people sleep on the bus, like me. Others just listen to music by themselves, and then others just start partying in the back. You do what you got to do to get ready for the game, and you just got to be able to be ready once you step on that field on the way game.
Yeah, having that mental focus before a game. Now, moving over back to soccer, guys. There's a lot of soccer players, but who is your favorite soccer player right now? Or it could be a guy in the past.
My favorite soccer player is Messi. I think is the greatest of all time. I mean, he's been showing that for all these years. Some people say Ronaldo, but I just think Messi's more complete, does way more than Ronaldo, and yeah.
I have to agree with Paul. Like, Messi, he could build out of nothing. I mean, it's just crazy to watch the stuff he could do in a game. You don't see that out of many other players.
Now, going to the other sport, football, American football, guys, all right? Not football like you guys say it. Who is your key player for today?
For our team?
For our team.
Probably Colin Randazzo. He's the running back for our team, and he's been scoring a lot of touchdowns for our football team. And if they keep giving the ball to him, he'd be able to create something out of nothing. All of his hurdles that he gets, like Najee Harris, and he'll be a key player for that game.
I think Mike Mataz is too. I mean, he's been hurt with an injury, but I think they need him back today, and he's a key role for that defensive part of the team.
Yeah, that sure is. As told, Mike Pantazis will play today for the Notre Dame Dons, filling in that linebacker role. Now, here's something that I want to ask you guys. This might be one of the best soccer teams Notre Dame has ever seen. What are you guys going to do to keep that energy throughout the season?
Well, first of all, from the beginning of the season, our number one goal was to win state, and that's a high point to reach, but I think we all think we're capable of doing that, and as long as us teammates and coaches believe that we can do that, it can happen. This season, more than ever, we have a really great team, and we all believe that can happen.
I think also remembering it's most of our most of the team's last dance. So, I mean, wanting to finishing off on the best note possible would be great.
All right, yep. As we're going to take a little break with right now, as guys, thank you for coming on. Michael Shanahan, Paul Harris. We'll take a little break right now, and hopefully you guys can stay around to be back.
All right, Michael.
Oh, we're waiting for Boyle to come down.
Are they still drumming?
Now they're done.
Sean! It's your prize. Let's go.
Well, how about that? That was pretty epic, huh? That was awesome. Oh yeah, I think we should get Hank on the drums because Hank doesn't talk loud enough.
Trick, a little Tommy Lee.
Wow.
Some Motley Crue stuff right
How about
now.
that? That was pretty good.
Yeah, I know my drummers. I know my 80s.
So you can still vote if you want to go vote online. We have the link at the bottom. It's bit.ly/ND Drumoff. You have to put it in exactly how it's shown at the bottom of your screen, or else you're not going to get the link correctly. The first drummer that went, that was Nino. The guy after that was Joseph, and then the guy after that was Sean. So that's how they went 1, 2, 3. So you can vote for them there. Currently, votes are a little light.
Yeah.
Go vote.
Gotta get
Come
your
on,
votes
go
in.
vote. Come on.
Sean is like the next Lars Ulrich, all right?
So-
Go vote for Sean.
So
Sean
as
has
he
my
runs
vote.
down the stairs, we have Mr. President himself, Mr. Shea Boyle. He's going to be hopping on in just a
We
second.
got a couple
Yeah,
Harvey
he's-
heads.
Oh, wow.
He's working.
He's ready.
He's working. Bringing the flag and everything.
Look at you. Hop on. We're live right now.
Yeah.
He's here.
You gotta come around that way.
Yeah, how you doing, Coach?
It's an apocalypse of wires as we like to operate around here. There we go. Flip it.
Other way.
There you go.
There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
It's only been a week since he's been on the air.
It's like riding a bike. Now he's good.
Yeah, now we're good. Right?
The Mac fan club's a little disappointed in Mac's audio level last week, so I got to make sure my man
Were they
Mac
really?
is all right. Yeah. Turn him up. Pump it up.
Uh-oh. Well, we got the man of the hour right here. Were you able to hear all that noise?
Was I able to?
Yeah.
Yeah, were you able to hear all that?
Drum off.
The drum off?
Oh, no. I was coming from a meeting, so I did not hear the drum
man.
off noise.
You
No.
missed the drum off.
It's getting pretty rowdy in here already.
I love it. I love it.
It was awesome.
President's always working, man.
Got to,
President's
man.
He's always
working.
busy.
It's homecoming
Always.
week, baby. We got alumni everywhere. We got jersey night for grammar school guys. I'm dropping off sweatshirts. We got alumni in the library having a little party. It's what it's all about, boys. It's great to be back on game day.
How many alumni we got tonight?
We'll have probably over 200 at least here.
Wow.
Our alums, they miss our games, man. They miss being on campus. You guys will understand it someday. You always want to have a place you call home to come back to, and I think that's the magic at Notre Dame. Our alumni love coming back, and they love seeing each other. So we're going to have some fun tonight. It's going to be a great night out there. Hopefully the rain stays away a little bit. Could be a factor in Mac's kicking game tonight, but we'll deal with that as it comes.
I already know the squibs are coming.
Squibs?
I can sense them.
What's the over/under on the squibs tonight, Mac?
I think 5. Honestly,
A lot of
All right.
squibs.
Pooch kicks, a little pooch kick going on, too?
That's a question for Mac only.
4.5.
Mac's been in the film room all week.
He's the kicking philosopher.
He is. He's been digging in, doing some metrics, analytics on the squib kicks. So, Mac, you're going to break it down tonight for the world. I love it.
for sure.
I love it.
I'm very excited for that segment, just so you know.
Yeah.
All right, so, Coach, I'm really interested to hear what you say about this. This was your first official homecoming week as president. Were you impressed?
Unbelievable. Daniel, what a week. Notre Dame Nation. Nothing like a homecoming week, a spirit week at Notre Dame. I look for participation from our students, and I saw it everywhere this week. You guys were incredible. We had theme days every day, different uniforms, attire. We had contests out at lunchtime during community period every day. Just the juice levels, all-time high here at Notre Dame. I love to see the energy, the excitement. Love seeing everybody wearing their jerseys in school for the soccer games and golf and cross-country and football games this week. And, it's a great fall. Our teams are competing at a high level. We're having a ton of success individually and team-wise. So I'm excited for tonight. Tonight is the crescendo of the week, and then we have a great homecoming dance tomorrow night.
Looking forward to it.
All right, Coach. So, something that's always been on my mind is attendance. As you said, like a lot of alumni are coming. Viator, they don't really disappoint with the crowd, but how many guys do you think are going to be there in Legends Field?
Yeah, I know the Notre Dame student section is going to be packed. The bullpen, our student body, second to none. I think, what we don't understand sometimes, guys, is our sophomores have really never been to a real home game before. Last week got rained out a little bit. So I think tonight, potentially, if the rain holds up, could be our first true fall Friday Night Lights in over 2 years. So I'm excited for that. I know the freshmen are beyond excited to be here. They don't know how to cheer you. They don't know. They're going to learn all the traditions tonight from our juniors and seniors. And, I expect a huge crowd of our students. I know we'll have well over 300 elementary school guests tonight. They're going to be right next to our student section for their jersey night tonight. That's always a really important night to introduce future Dons here to Notre Dame. So, I think it's going to be a sellout on our side of the field for sure. And St. Viator always travels very well. There's a lot of kids that, look at both schools. So I'm sure it'll be a fun, spirited competition tonight with the student sections, no question.
Mac, you got to whip the underclassmen into shape tonight.
Yeah, they need some work, but I think we can get it done.
Yeah,
it's possible. Possible.
Chance needs some work, but as long as we stay loud for Notre Dame, it doesn't matter, man. It's got to be loud.
Seniors can carry the big weight for a little bit.
Yeah. Can I put in a request, Hank?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear some We Are ND tonight. I like it. We got to bring that back. It's a strategic. After the kickoff or after a touchdown, let's get after it. Little We Are ND. Teach the freshmen the way.
For sure.
We got it. We need to do that.
I got a question straight from my mom for you, Coach.
Yes, sir. All right.
She wanted me to know any advice you have for the seniors, or if you've gone through the whole high school and then moving on to college process, for big events like homecoming, what would your advice be to yourself back when you were a senior, or to us as seniors?
Yeah, my advice to the seniors, guys, is, everybody's going to tell you how fast your year is going to go. 100% it's true. You're going to hear that when you go to college. You're going to hear it when you move on and maybe have a family of your own someday. Everything goes really fast, and it does. So best advice I ever got was on my wedding day, and they said, you got to take one memory per hour, try and lock something into your brain. Maybe it's one per day as a senior when you're here, and just give thanks that happened. Or maybe it was a conversation with a teacher or a friend or a coach, or a great moment you had on a test or a class. But, appreciate the moments that you have here. They're going to go fast. Leave your legacy. That's my other thing. You want to leave Notre Dame a better place than when you got here. And you can do that by your leadership with the freshmen and sophomores. That is the magic to me of Notre Dame. Seniors set the tone. They're the leaders. Juniors rise up the next year. Sophomores take a jump. Freshmen take a jump.
Yep.
The freshmen are looking at you guys, man. So the year at Notre Dame is going to go only as well as our seniors lead. I say that every year, and we have an awesome senior class this year. Last year's class was tremendous. You guys have been awesome, elite group of guys, and I think, if you enjoy your moments and participate in everything, don't be too cool to go to a basketball game or a soccer game or, a chess match, whatever you guys are doing, see it through.
Shout out to the
you
chess
want to look,
team there.
Yeah,
shout out to the chess Dons.
Team captain right here.
Yeah, MVP of the chess team right here. I mean, come on. You don't want to miss an opportunity to leave your legacy here. So I know chess Dons are going to have a huge year too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited to lock in. I heard we got a new coach this year. We're going to lock in.
Yep, a lot of young talent on that chess team. I'll take a little break because I just want to say about chess club and all that for all our young Dons or young 8th graders coming in. 2 years ago, Notre Dame, we went down to state, and it was a great experience. Even though the record or whatever may not have been there, but, building off that legacy, you see us, you see me, as we got a new coach and everything, Notre Dame Dons chess is on the come up right now. That's all I got to say about Notre Dame Dons chess right now.
What Hank's trying to say is he's not just a big-time athlete. There's a brain in there, too.
Yep.
He's got it all.
I had a young man the other day said, Coach, I heard you say something last year that stuck with me, and I don't even remember really saying it, but we were talking about the legend Frank Lynch, the pride of St. Edward's Elementary, and we introduced Frank as a 3-sports star, basketball, baseball, and chess.
Yep.
And that young man heard that, and he said, I'm coming to Notre Dame. I want to be a 3-sports star like Frank Lynch. I want to be on the chess team. So props to the chess team. Daniel, If we go game day for a chess match, I'm in. I'm your
we
guy.
have to do game day for a chess match.
I'm in. Mac, I don't know if you're on the team this year, but
I'll be there.
if Mac's there, I'm there.
Game day for chess?
Are there squib kicks in chess, or
there might be
if there are,
a lot of strategic stuff, which you like, Mac. So there is a lot of stuff that goes with the game.
Yeah, I think Mac can lock into a move or two he can study up on. So I'm with you. And Mr. Madigan in the house, all right?
He's our new resident photographer.
He is.
Yeah. I love it. Give
We
that
need
guy a
to
stipend.
get him like a 4K camera.
Yeah.
That phone camera can only do too much.
Christmas gift from the forensics class. Everyone pitches in for a camera.
There you go.
Absolutely.
He's got mad game on Instagram.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
He does.
Mr.
He's
Madigan.
building up his resume.
Yeah.
No, he's got a following, man. Count me in as a follower, Mr. Madigan. Science guy.
All of us.
Amen.
So, Coach, we're interested to hear, what have you thought so far about the football Dons?
Yeah, last week, I was with you guys up until halftime. We had a great halftime lead. I left the booth saying, you know what? Fight was there, spirit's there, game prep is there. I could see the fire in everybody's eyes. Football, like we said last week, sometimes you get an injury or two, a couple of holes opened up, but I was really impressed by Notre Dame. Nazareth, great. What a great game, down to the last play of the game. So the Dons are never going to quit. I think they've had a great week of practice. I've snuck out there a couple times to see the guys, see the energy levels. They look great, so I'm excited. I think St. Viator is a good matchup for us, and it's going to be a wonderful night tonight, guys.
Yeah, it sure is, Coach. Now, something that is always welcome at ND is the 8th graders, Coach. Can you expand a little bit on the young 8th graders coming into Notre Dame?
For sure. Tonight we started this tradition probably about maybe 12 years ago. We call it elementary school football jersey night. So every young man's encouraged to wear a jersey of any sort, NFL, college, high school, their park league, their school team, represent their colors and come out and see a great game. So all the grammar school guys will be here early. We're going to have a punt, pass, and kick competition for them outside. We're going to talk to them a little bit about the game tonight, give them some keys to the game. And then they're going to be on the field with us before the game to be there for the national anthem, present the American flag, and get the whole Notre Dame experience. They'll see the band. They'll see the cheerleaders. They're going to smell the smoke from the grill club and our guys barbecuing out there. Notre Dame Friday Night Lights is unmatched, man. It's different. That's the Notre Dame difference right there. Friday Night Lights, people can say those words, but we do that right here. Look at the energy on the campus today, man. You can feel it. Yeah. You can slice it. That's what it's all about. So the Dons are ready, and our young guys, man, I can't wait for them to experience it. And I got two of my own sons coming for their first jersey night as students tonight. So
that's awesome.
It means I've been here a long time, Hank. Year 10. I got boys in 7th and 5th grade. They'll be here soon, but they're excited. They're bringing all their buddies tonight. Should be a fun night.
I have a quick question just to tap back into your coaching days.
Yep.
Like you said, talking about that Nazareth game and then also the first game, Glenbard North, it came down to the wire for both of them. Obviously, we dropped both, which is a heartbreaker, but what's your advice to help these Dons close out the games?
Yeah, Mac, you're going to know what I'm about to say here. We have a philosophy that I have shaped over the years from my basketball background. It is from an alum here named Abe Badmus, who gave me great advice. It was a point in time when our Sweet 16 Dons were struggling with the basketball season. We were one of the top-ranked teams in the state. We lost 2 games, and the world was over, right? Everybody's like, what's wrong with Notre Dame? They lost 2 games in a whole season. And Abe Badmus came and talked to our team, and Abe was an all-time great here. He played at Bucknell. He beat Kansas in the NCAA tournament, played in the Olympics. Just a great guy. And he talked about 3 words. I'm going to say these slowly because I have a mask on, okay? It's wrap the fish. Wrap the fish, all right? Wrap the fish. And that mentality comes from the fish markets of Seattle,
yes, it does.
Where they use yesterday's newspaper to wrap today's fish, and they take this fish in a newspaper and they throw it, and it's gone. So the point of this story, guys, is yesterday's newspaper is good for only one thing, wrapping today's dead fish. Who cares what happened yesterday? Who cares what happened last week? It's about today. You wrap the fish, you throw it out, nothing matters. Records don't matter tonight. It's heart, it's pride, it's preparation. We know Notre Dame's going to be ready. We know the defense is ready. We know the offense is ready. Special teams is going to be ready with Matt Ross. We're ready to go. So, you guys, you got to wrap the fish, come out with great energy, feed off the crowd, and just do what you do. Yep. Trust your preparation. Nobody works harder in Notre Dame football. I promise you that. They're prepared. They've been in the film room all week. They're going to be ready to go. Turn the page. Wrap the fish, baby.
I think it's time to wrap up this fish.
Let's wrap
I think
it
it's
up,
time for
Dan.
our game predictions. So, Mac, you want to lead us off?
I do think it's going to be a close game as much as I want a Notre Dame blowout. Viator, close conference rivals. I'm thinking about 35-28.
Okay, high scoring game.
Yeah.
All right, I like that.
I watch a lot of college football, and I sure do watch a lot of college game day. So, my favorite guy on the show is definitely Lee Corso. So usually he brings up something, a fact, and then he explains why they're going to win. Last time Notre Dame was 0-5 was in 1990. 40 years.
It's a long time, Hank. Long time.
That's 30.
30
years.
Honors math right here.
Yes, John.
Lock in. He's
Wow.
I think we need to revoke his captainship.
I was very excited to do this, all right? So nerves are getting to me, but 30 years the last time Notre Dame went 0-5. That will end. The Dons are going to come out. Their defense is going to be alive. Give me Notre Dame in a blowout, 28-7. Three scores.
All right.
Three scores.
Like it, Hank. That's strategic, man. That's playing chess while others are playing checkers.
All right, I think it's my turn. So, we had talked about in the open how we think that, this is probably going to be a coming out party for the Dons offense. It seems like something that they need. And then the Dons defense is going to play lockdown too. However, I think these are two very evenly matched teams. So I'm anticipating 28-24 final score, Dons on top.
Whew, like it, Daniel. I like
28-24. Okay.
High scoring affair.
Yeah. Get some offense, huh?
We need it.
Is the weather going to be a factor, fellas?
Oh.
What does the weather forecast say here, guys?
That's a Mac Ross kicking. He's always got to include the weather in there. The wind. Shattered storms, wind.
50% chance of squib kicks.
Be raining squib kicks tonight, Mac.
All right, Coach. I think it's your turn.
All right. Well, here's the deal, fellas. I mentioned we're going to wrap the fish tonight. We're turning the page on this season. Season starts tonight. Dons are locked in. Don defense is coming for you. Tight end position will be open all night. I saw Kevin Durkin today.
He's ready.
Made eye contact.
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
you be ready. You be ready for your role tonight, Dirks. I'm coming for you. You get a touchdown, I'm going to be right there in the end zone. Jersey night, homecoming, alumni everywhere. Guys, we are going 21, Notre Dame, 3, Viator. Let's pump it up. Oh,
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Pump it up, baby.
Yes, sir.
Pump it up.
This is the point in time where we need to start playing the Pump It Up music.
Gotta pump
Thank
it
you,
up,
Harvey
boys.
the Bull, for joining us.
Gotta
on
pump
such-
it up.
Oh,
Gotta
yes.
pump it up.
Well, this was fantastic. We got to thank all of our guests for joining us here today. Hank and Mac, President Boyle for joining us here for the last segment, our production crew. Join us at 7 o'clock for the varsity game. You can join us a little bit early. We're going to start a little bit earlier than we normally do. So, until then, we're going to see you guys in about an hour and a half. Go Dons!
Pump it up, baby. Let's go, Dons!